Afternoon, guys. It's Ender here from TrendSpotter. I got a few requests to run the TrendSpotter indicator through some Forex markets. So I have some currency pairs here up in front of me. I have Euro US dollar, Euro pound, US dollar JPY, and pound US dollar. So I've set the time frame to 15 minutes, and we'll just look back briefly here over 2 days, really, kind of, is it? Yeah, 2 days. So as you can see here, I mean, we can start wherever you want. Let's look at Euro US dollar. You can see that it's coming into a sell order, and there you go, sell from here down. Let's see, at 9 a.m. The move was a is that 57 pips? 57.4 pips. Okay, and then on the upside, you have at 8:30, you had an indicator start going long, but there's your entry in here, and that long position was from here all the way up to there. So that's a $1.11314 all the way up to 111.508. So that's 40 pips, is it? And anyways, it stays green, as you can see. You just keep going green there. So I wouldn't take that re-entry there because you already got the move there. So for me, that move is pretty much done. And the next move would be over here. This is really a minuscule move. It's near the session end anyways. But sure, we'll have a look at it anyways. Short position here to there. It's quite small, as you can see there. And then another move here would be here to up a small bit. It's a very small move there. And again, another big move there. So that's Euro US dollar, Euro pound. Again, I mean, look at the data there. You can see from the chart that it does quite substantial moves that it's catching as well. We'll ignore that one because that's really obvious. But if you go in here, let's zoom in here. And what we have is from the second up arrow. There you go. So that's a nice move in there. I forgot to mention, because maybe I haven't mentioned it, maybe this is your first time looking at this. So the way the system works is you get in on the second arrow if everything is green and pointing in the right direction with your Psar on the bottom and your trend meter is green. Second arrow. And when the reverse happens, you see the RSI reversing here, you get in on the second arrow again. So as you can see here, second arrow, first arrow, second arrow, two in a row. Sorry, it's not just the second arrow. They have to be beside each other in a row. So from here you can go there and straight down to whatever your tolerance is, however long you want to stay in the trade. But there's your win, and that trade is over. And then in here for a long, you wait for the second arrow, green trend meter, in you go. And well, I mean, how far do you want to go? You can just stay in all day, or 2 days for that matter. So I know that's ridiculous just drawing something like that, but you can even see from here, I mean, that's a respectable win there anyways, and no reason to get out. The only reason I would ever think about getting out is when the RSI reverses here. But I would still be cautious about getting out just because it reverses, because so Psar is normally a reason and the RSI is a reason, but they kind of tend to reverse anyways together. But if you're up, if your entry was back here and you're up substantially over here, then maybe set a stop loss that you're comfortable with rather than just getting out blindly on the RSI. But you can see the trend meter is still green down here, so there's still a kind of a reason to stay in. And by the time the trend meter turns red, the RSI has gone green again. So there are kind of reasons to stay in, but you have to use your own risk management on this kind of stuff. We'll go to pound US dollar. And again, I'm just going back a few days here. I'm picking this randomly. So here, short positions. Let's have a look. So your short position is the second trend meter, and then you're waiting for the arrow. So there you go. So look, waiting. There's your second arrow on the open, and that's your risk management is there. And I don't know how far down you want to go on it as a win, but it does catch all these trends. It's quite large, these moves as well. But again, I don't trade the Forex market. I don't have the language to convey what's happening. I'm not sure, like, exactly pips versus, dollars is what I normally go for. I don't know how many pips you want to get, or what your tolerance is. What I can tell you is that the TrendSpotter indicator that I've created does work across different markets, and I trade it in equities, which is stocks. I trade mainly large cap stocks, as you can see from the channel, but it does work here in Forex, in currency markets. And again, you don't have to do anything. You just plug this into as an indicator into your chart, and it does everything for you. There is nothing. There's nothing hidden in here. There's no scam. There's nothing. This is printed. They don't reprint. So once it's printed, it doesn't like change its mind and go back. It starts to form, and once it's printed and the next candle closes, that's it. So these moves are the real moves. So you can see from there, you've got more large moves. And look, I mean, I know everything is obvious in hindsight, but look at this here. This is it live. Okay, so I mean, that's your entry is here. No, sorry, your entry is not there because the trend meter is green, so you wouldn't get into this trade. And this is time-stamped here, 17th of December, which is today at 12:23. So we can check back on this later. But you wouldn't get in here, even though it does look like it's going down, because that's green. That has to be red. But yeah, that's it. What else? Oh yeah, US dollar, Japan, JPY. I don't know what other majors you'd want me to look up for you, but here you go, long position. I mean, I don't need to draw it. Look, you can see what it does. That's the entry over here. So right there at 12:15, and you can just set your long position to the second green with the trend meter aligned in here. And I don't know what do you do? How do you normally manage your stop losses? You can take bits off. But there was no reason to get out here for anything. If like, let's pull that out there because that's just ridiculous looking at that much. So you can see it goes up here and it comes down a bit, and there's selling pressure. So you would probably stop out there. For me, that looks like it's reversing. You've got downward arrows. You've got Psar on top. You've got the RSI change. Even though the trend meter is green, by the time if this did go against you and completely reversed and went straight down, you'd have a bit of damage done. So I would look at this kind of thing and just get out. But I would look at getting back in when I saw movement again. So you can see this. So that's just a small pullback, if anything. And then once you get in here, there's nowhere. I mean, I don't see how you would get out of this. But again, you can see it's just catching all of them. So watch what's happening here. So that's an obvious one again. But look here, right? So to get in, right? So this is a close one, actually. So this is a close call. Watch this. So here you are. You've red meter, but you've got an arrow and a second arrow beside each other. So there's the reason to get in, okay? But the trend meter hasn't painted. It needs to be over 1. You need to be 1 in on the trend meter. So by the time that happens, all the conditions aren't met. You stay out. And all that did really, I mean, well, you avoided that, which is great. But there's nothing worse than being in a consolidating trade. I'm talking mainly in equities here now, but in Forex, it's exactly the same thing. There's nothing worse than being stuck from, what time is that, 8:45 or 6:45 in the evening to 3 a.m. with your equity tied up, okay? And your margin, everything is used because it's in this trade and then before something happens. So you're better off having the TrendSpotter not get you in until it's time to get in, which is over here. And there, well, actually, technically it's here, and that's another one I'll explain to you. So the Psar is here, okay, and the only reason that Psar appeared down the bottom is because this candle broke around here somewhere and broke the Psar and reversed it. So really, your entry is here because it's the second Psar. But that's something you'll see as you go. And yeah, so if you got in here, again, there's a move for you to go up here, there, and you can take that one, or you can stay in. So again, like I said, it depends on kind of your risk management and how you trade. We can look at this here. This is choppy, consolidating stuff. Okay, so this is where it kind of gets to work and it gets trickier. So you've got your move and you're out of that, and you want to get straight back in. And I don't know the best times to trade Forex. I don't know the busy times or the quiet times or the volume times or anything like this, but we'll just take it at face value here. So you're looking for, there's your Psar, red arrow down, and your confirmation. So your entry is here. And depending on your, if this was an equity chart, if this was Tesla, I'd be, this would be horrible, okay, because you're in this, I don't know what kind of risk management that is, and there's the other side is over here, down to win, which is, that would just be horrible. So for me, I'd be stopping out well before that. So that would be a losing trade as far as I'm concerned if you only got whatever that is, a few pips. But the exit for me, yeah, this is what I want to focus on. So the exit for me would be the first candle confirming the arrow disappearing, really. And the reason that is that if a trade isn't going your way straight away, get out. There's no point hanging around and seeing what it does. So I would get out either here, or you can, while it's all in, you can stay in it. But it's just not a good place to be, and you're in it, and these are 15-minute candles here. I trade the 1-minute chart using large cap. So for me, this would be a 10-minute trade, but this must be like 2 or 3 hours. I couldn't sit through that, no way. But the TrendSpotter, when you get in, it would pull back, and now you're up into this territory, and it's coming back down, giving you kind of hope. And the worst, or the biggest danger is to get out is when everything starts aligning again. So like when the RSI changes and the Psar changes, you need to start thinking about getting out. And a smaller loss is better than hoping it'll go against or go with you. But if you did get out there, you could get back in for a winning trade here. So here, and that's choppy as far as I'm concerned. I could be wrong, but if I saw this on a large cap stock, I would be unimpressed, and I would stay away from the stock until the volume comes in. I don't know what volume that is down there, but yeah. So there's another win there, and look, this is all messing, but there's no arrow, so there's no reason to get in. And here you go again. This is another entry for the US dollar Japan or JPY. So here is your trend meter. There's your arrows down. So right here today, that was an entry, and there's your win rate there, your risk reward and everything, 2.56. Yeah, so that's basically it, guys. TrendSpotter across the Forex markets. I don't have any Forex experience, so I'm not coming at this from a very technical analysis kind of approach when it comes to Forex terminology. So excuse me if I sound a bit dumb on it. It's not what I do. I'm equities, I'm large cap, stocks. That's what I specialize in. You can see from my videos. But if anybody wants to try this indicator, you can have a free trial and trial it across your Forex markets, trial it anywhere you want, and get back to me and let me know. That would be great. Okay, give us a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you want more information, and I'll talk to you in the next one.